Welcome back to the Pursuit of Progress podcast. As always, I'm your host, Adam. My co host, Ben, is not with us this week, but I'm excited, guys, because this episode today is a good one. And it's all about that one thing that controls your energy, your mindset, your habits, and if we're being honest, your results. And what is that? It's your morning routine. If you want to change your year, don't start with a 12-month plan. Start with the first hour of your day. Because if you win the morning, you win the day. And if you stack up enough of those winning days, that, my friends, is how you win the year. So let's get right into it. And the way I put this episode together for you guys today, if you're watching on video on YouTube, you can hopefully see me and I'll share a couple more little things with you that way. Otherwise, if you're on Apple or Spotify, whatever podcast platform you like, no problem there. But we're going to be going through 4 parts on this episode. Each of these 4 parts I put together for you guys just to really help start off 2026 on a positive note and just hit the ground running. So I'm going to jump right into it, guys, with part 1, which is why I feel that mornings matter more than motivation. Most people, they wait for motivation to start showing up, but here is the truth. Discipline beats motivation every single time. And discipline is built in your morning routine. So Ed Milet, I know you guys hear me talk about him often, and he's one of my all-time favorite just self-improvement guys out there. He often calls this maximizing the first hour because that first hour, it sets your entire emotional tone, your focus, your energy, and even your confidence. If you wake up reactive, grabbing your phone, scrolling mindlessly on social media, maybe rushing, just distracted, your whole day becomes a response to other people's agendas. But if you wake up with intention, you create space. And in that space is where you build momentum. So I put together this 5-part morning framework that I'm going to share with you guys. So this is really kind of partially what I do, but also just I think really, really important because you do need a system that supports the person you're becoming. And if you guys haven't yet, a couple weeks ago, I actually did another episode all about your identity and how you need to become the person you want to be. You need to start acting like that person today, even if you're not there yet. And this is really important because waking up with a win, starting your morning off on a positive note, really is a great way to do just that. So the first of these 5 parts for the morning framework is waking up with a win. So start your day with a small, easy win. And I know this is going to sound maybe kind of dumb to some of you guys, but for me, that's making my bed. I know that sounds so basic and simple, but it can be other things too. It could be maybe chugging a full glass of water, maybe getting up, doing a quick 10 push-ups. Maybe it's a daily devotional, whatever it may be, but just making sure that you're sending your brain a signal saying that I am in control. If you win the first battle of the day, you win the rest. And that's a quote from Admiral William McRaven, who actually wrote a book called Make Your Bed. And that's kind of where I got this wake up with a win concept from. So if you guys are interested at all, definitely check out, again, his name is Admiral William McRaven. And he's got a great book. It's really short and easy to read, but he talks all about that. Just waking up with a win. The first thing you do in the morning is something simple, but it's getting that momentum started from the first second of the day. So 5-part series, you guys here. Number 1 was waking up with a win. Number 2 is getting in motion. Physical movement activates your energy. Even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes of stretching, maybe walking, maybe even body weight movement, that can fire up your nervous system. It reminds you that you're not just thinking today, you're doing. Motion creates emotion, and emotion drives action. Motion creates emotion, and emotion drives action. For me, I go to the gym every morning. I meet actually my co-host Ben at 6 a.m. Every weekday of every week, and we've been doing this for probably 5-6 years at this point. And so it's great to have an accountability partner. But I'm just going to add to this that for me, it's all about this just process that I've established over the last few years with my morning, with going to the gym. And I don't even look at my phone other than just the alarm clock on it. I don't open up social media. I don't open up my emails until after I leave the gym. I don't even bring my phone in with me to the gym just to avoid that temptation, just to protect my peace, protect that first part of the day. And that is what's kind of leading me now into the third part of this framework, which is protecting the first 30 minutes. No phone, no social media, no inbox, nothing. This is your time. really respect yourself enough to give that present to yourself. Instead, read something inspiring or write down your goals, maybe a gratitude journal, maybe just sitting in silence, meditating, praying, whatever it is that brings you back to you. The first 30 minutes every day should belong to you and not the rest of the world. That is so important. So, number 4 is going to be then reviewing your vision. I read my goals and I look at my power list. It's not about being obsessed with tasks, but it is about staying aligned with your vision. If you don't remind yourself where you're going, well, the day is going to pull you off course. And I'm going to use a Bible verse here, Proverbs 29:18. Without vision, the people perish. And then last but not least, number 5 is going to be eat, fuel, and launch. So fuel your body like you're preparing for war, whether that's a protein shake, maybe some eggs, something small. I treat breakfast like fuel for performance, not entertainment. And from there, I launch, not scroll, not stall, launch. And I will add to that for me, guys, just a little personal tip that I use is when I get back from the gym, I just have my kind of set routine with my protein shake. I add a special fast absorbing carbohydrate to that just to get a little bit more substance in the protein shake. And it literally takes me 15 seconds to drink and maybe 2 minutes to put it together when I get home from the gym. So there's just so much power, I think, with just keeping things simple and just being able to have things available in your pantry, in your kitchen that won't prevent you from doing it because it's going to take too long or it's too complicated. So, in my opinion, having some very simple ways to get those quick and easy wins. So, there's a little personal tip there. So, now that we kind of went through that 5-part framework of just how to have your morning set up, I want to now just share a little bit about some myths about morning routines because let's be honest here, you guys, morning routines are one of those kind of buzzwords these days. Regardless of who you're following on social media or what mentors or role models you might have, I guarantee if you're really serious about learning from how they're successful, you've probably asked them the question, well, what's your morning routine like? How do you start the day? Well, there's a lot of myths about this, and I want to really nip these ones in the butt because they are very important for maybe you, the listener, to realize if this maybe I'm talking to you on this one. So, myth number 1 is, you know what? I'm just not a morning person. You don't have to be. Okay, you guys, you do not have to be a morning person. You just have to own your morning. Whether that starts at 5 a.m. or 8 a.m., ownership beats early every single time. Another myth that's common that I hear a lot from other friends and just people that I talk to on the podcast about this kind of stuff is, Adam, that's great, but you have a pretty flexible schedule. Me, on the other hand, I got 2 kids I got to get ready for school. I don't have time. Well, you don't need 2 hours and a cold plunge. You need 20 to 30 minutes of just intentional space. That's it. It's not about time. It's about priority. And one way to just really prove this to yourself, set your alarm tomorrow morning for 15 minutes earlier. Don't set it for an hour earlier. Set it for 15 minutes earlier. With that 15 minutes, respect it. Don't hit the snooze button. Actually get up and maybe just start trying to implement one little thing that I'm talking about today. Do that for a couple weeks and then do it again. Rinse and repeat. Now set your alarm for another 15 minutes earlier. Do that over the course of maybe 2 or 3 months. And before you know it, waking up an hour earlier will never feel quite as of an intense shock to your system because you're slowly tapering into it. And that is a pro movie, guys. I'm telling you, if you're not a morning person, you have a hard time, just start with 15 minutes and build from there. And I guarantee you're still going to be able, if you're intentional, to get a lot of movement in the right direction by doing so. And then the third myth that I also want to share with you guys really quick is, people that say, yeah, well, I've tried it before, but I just couldn't stay consistent. This is a big one when it comes to losing weight and getting in better shape. So as you guys are listening to this at the beginning of 2026, maybe I'm talking to you. That's probably because you made it too complicated when it comes to consistency. So start simple, stack wins, let that momentum then carry you forward. Dan Martell, he's one of my all-time favorites. He talks about this a lot. And the way he puts this is he says to design a routine that reduces your decision fatigue and increases clarity, because clarity creates speed. Clarity creates speed. And here's the best part, you guys. What happens when you get all of this moving in the right direction and you start nailing your morning routine? Well, when your morning is locked in, you feel calmer, you act with confidence, you stop reacting to life, and you start leading it. your energy improves, your presence improves, your follow through improves. And that is when things really start to shift. When you take command of the first hour of your day, you start creating your life on your terms. And in a world full of distractions, that kind of clarity is a superpower. So as we head into 2026, don't just set a goal, set a routine. Don't just chase a vision, build a system that pulls you toward it every single day. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And your morning habits are the foundation of that. So win your morning, win your day, win your year. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was a quick one today with Ben gone. I just wanted to give you guys some fire, just a quick little 10 minutes to hopefully give you a little bit of motivation and kick the week off on a positive note. Guys, if you have any questions, if you want to talk through any of this on a more one-on-one basis, I always love connecting with our audience. Go to adamsillsdenver.com. You can book a free 30-minute, I call it a real estate strategy session, but we can even just talk about goal setting, just anything that just is on your mind that maybe I can provide some value and help you out with, because we're a team here. We're all in this. We're all in this together. I have people that I lean on, and I just want to be that person for you if you need that person. So again, guys, hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Pursuit of Progress podcast. And I'll see you guys next week with my co-host, Ben. Until then, we'll see you then.